Have you been hearing all the hype about 3 waves of twin flames and wondering which wave your twin flame journey is a part of? If so, stay tuned because I'm going to give you tips that are going to help you identify which wave your twin flame journey is a part of. Let's go! Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Harmony. I'm a twin flame expert helping twin flames around the globe phase spheres, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Welcome to my weekly glow show. Today I'm going to talk to you about the 3 waves of twin flames. A couple weeks ago, I had a 3rd wave twin flame couple on. I'll make sure to put a link to that video below or on the cards as well. But there was a lot of questions in regards to many aspects of their journey. I have a list of topics that I'm going to actually go back and do another interview or maybe a couple with them and ask them some specific questions that came up. But one of those questions had to do with what is the hype about the 3 waves of twin flames? So I felt like it was a very important topic. I had it on my list to discuss anyway. And as always, it's coming up to the perfect alignment to share with you today. So basically, I want to just kind of step back a second. This is very complex. And I want to try to simplify it as I try to normally do, the best way I can to give you kind of a lot of information and a very translated overview. So you get the big picture of this. I will be writing more about this, and I'm sure there will be more videos coming on this topic because we're really moving into a timeline right now that this is playing out, that we're seeing this. And I guess one of the first places I feel guided to say and share with you is so many people are under the assumption that every twin flame journey is alike, and that is not the case. It is just not. And it's really based on these 3 waves, as well as personal karma we chose to clear, as well as the collective karma we chose for our personal path to clear collectively and for even our dynamic. But basically, twin flames don't always realize this, but the whole concept is very biblical. And I wrote about this in my book, Twin Flame Codebreaker, and I said there's more coming on this topic in very much greater detail in future books that I'm working on. But twin flames signed up for a mission, and the mission had to do with collectively shifting a planetary shift in the consciousness of humanity from going from a dark to a light, earth-based, elevated, crystalline, high-frequency earth and higher consciousness to shift for bring more love into the planet. And from the biblical standpoint, and I'm not here to bring the biblical in from a standpoint of, some people look at that as like religion. Well, religion is totally separate than biblical. Religion is man-made concepts that take that and interpret a certain way, and this is not coming from a religious standpoint at all. It's just fact and proof of the revelations that we're living out that the Bible mentions that is happening in reality from the predictions in today's timeline and these timelines that I'm going to share with you. Basically, we signed up as a collective whole in order to shift this consciousness. And where the people hear the term of 144,000 twin flames or chosen ones or volunteers that chose to come in and basically tip the scale from the dark to the light, that meant that they had to become activated, they had to become awakened souls in order to make a planetary shift in this consciousness that I'm referring to from lower vibrational, and this all goes around the Age of Pisces that happened up to, on a universal timeline, up to 12/21 of 2012, when the universal reset took place and we shifted into the Age of Aquarius. That in those universal timelines, that's for 2150 years. So basically, the Age of Pisces lived out like that over 2,000 years of the timeline of kind of biblical principles. And now we're creating a new kind of world order, a new heaven on earth. And how do we go forward? And some people call this the age of the Enlightenment. Some people call it the New Age kind of thing. And, even the timeline of the Mayan calendar ends on December 21st of 2012. So there's so much backing this concept and the idea. But where the 144 really came from was that from a biblical standpoint, talks about 12 tribes of Israel, and then there's 12 leaders, or like 12 apostles, that really where we originated from within our soul family. And if you were to multiply the 12 and 12 of the 12 tribes and the 12 basically leaders or apostles of this origination of the soul family, it represents 144,000. And from a biblical standpoint, the biblical Bible talks about that it's 144 people chose to be able to tip the scale and open the gateway to the New Jerusalem, or the new earth that we know of today, and shifting that timeline from third dimensional energy and raising that frequency to a fifth dimensional energy, where even our bodies are shifting from a carbon-based body to a crystalline body. And scientific proof has shown that we are going from 2-stranded DNA to 12-stranded DNA to support more life. And that's that's scientifically proven. And so basically the whole idea of a twin flame journey is not about the relationship that most people think. It's about the assignment that you came here to implement, and your piece of that. And where do you fit into the timeline of that, of making this planetary shift, which is what the third wave energy here, the third waves of twin flames, is all about. And so, as I mentioned, the pivot point is 12/21 of 2012. And basically, if we can individually change our own frequency and elevate our frequency, it's kind of like the 100th monkey, that we can do that consciously for the collective planet. And so we're making universal time shifts here through this process to raise the frequency of humanity, basically, as I mentioned. So let's dive a little deeper now to really understand how that relates to the timeline, as well as how that relates to the 3 waves of twin flames. And I want you to know that whenever I talk about these timelines and I talk about these waves, they're just like everything. There are transitions and there are cusps on those transitions. So keep that in mind, okay? But basically, from like the timeline of 12/21 of 2012, there's a 25-year period of a transition that's coming into like pivotal point to leading up to an additional 25 years. So like 2087 leading up to 2012 to leading up to 2037 is like the convergence of this energy shift of Age of Pisces to Age of Aquarius. And so in that, as we get closer and closer to that timeline of 2012, there's like a 5-year period that's really been intense between 2007 up to 2012, and then 2012 to 2019, basically, there has been another really big portal, so to speak, as far as, when I say portal, like transition, or the heart. If we were to take that big picture and you're going down to the heart of the heart to the heart of the heart, we're looking at around 2007 to 2019 being some really big timelines. Even looking at, like, as we went into this, the goal was to shake up the old templates, to shake up the old patriarchs, to break apart structure, to dump out everything that's not working for everybody individually as well as collectively. And that goes down to like the crash of like 2008, where turned the economy totally upside down. And this is being done in a collective clearing through our society, all the way from government to financial status, to our communities, to our cultures, to our bloodlines. And we're purging those generational curses and including religious beliefs. So really being tested to basically break down man-made structure and to shift into this consciousness of this wholeness, of this oneness of all can coexist, the coexistence of all, that it's all perfect, that contrast can exist in the duality between religion and spirituality. And the sooner you can come into alignment with basically all it's matching up to you and find the perfection in that, and to see the reflection in that of how you can work that energy and trigger that's coming forth to you, the more you can come into your personal acceptance of that, and the more you expand, and the more you expand, the more you align with the collective consciousness through coming into an alignment with connecting to your thoughts, your feelings, your heart, and your body, your soul, as you collect to the consciousness of the conscious mind, heart, body of the collective. And what's happening in this process, I got to tell you, that is where people are getting so confused about even just like having multiple twin flames, is that we are elevating our frequency through this ascension process. And as we're elevating our frequency and we're going through what I call the ascended ladder, the ascension tree of going up to see things from higher consciousness, as we start to process and integrate information to create higher conscious awareness that creates breakthroughs, that creates debris that we have to filter through and sift through, processing that information to connect more dots, that creates even the bigger picture from the higher view again, as we go through these cycles going up that elevated tree to basically, I write about this as a Christmas tree effect in my book, Twin Flame Codebreaker, how we start stringing those lights around the tree and it's further around the circle. But as we go up the tree, the radius becomes smaller and we can get around the circle faster. We don't have to repeat those same cycles. It doesn't take as long. But each time we do that, we're coming from a higher perspective as we go up that tree. And eventually we become the Christmas tree star, and we are the light that's shining the light for others to follow. And so basically in the process of that, as we shift through frequencies of energy going up in our light, we are aligning with the precise people, experiences, and triggering all the things we need to get our personal lessons in that. And so while you come into alignment with another person and they're activating you and they're awakening you and they're taking you up in your elevation of all this energy to connect to the highest version of yourself, basically you will have different experiences, including facilitators that will come along in order to help you plug the leak, to be able to fulfill your personal journey to keep going up the enlightenment ladder. Now, there's two key differences here in an eternal twin flame and different other types of twin flame experiences. So you have the other twin flame experiences that come through to activate you because you came in on the exact frequency at the exact same minute, at the exact same point. I'm going to give you an example of this. So I know for a fact whenever I started this journey in awakening, I was from the violet ray, and I had discovered a twin flame facilitator that was on the blue ray. But I was still in control and having trouble letting control, so it was pulling my frequency down, where the violet's one of the highest frequencies and the blue ray is one of the lowest frequencies. But we were meeting on the exact frequency because he was in surrender, he was in flow, he was open, and it was raising him up to the highest frequency within his blue ray, where I was being pulled and I was still having control and having trouble letting go and connecting to even more. So it was pulling my frequency down based on those things. But at that exact alignment, we were hitting the exact frequency in order to activate as if we were twin flames, in order to help us continue our evolution. And that can be done from like what the karmic twin type situation is, to blast out old karma, to let go of that karmic patterns that is basically like shifting and forcing a person to release their lower self and the lower ways and the old ways. Or it can be coming in to activate you from the higher self to keep you expanding, because even your own eternal twin may not be to the frequency and their alignment to be able to help you plug those leaks for you personally to align with your highest version of yourself in those higher frequencies. And the difference between that eternal twin and the other types of twins, and I'll be writing even more about this. You watch the video series I have on. I'll make sure there's a link. Can I have more than one twin flame? It's going to break some of this down for you. But in addition to that, I've ran into multiple types of personal experiences, and I've tracked them, and I'm writing about them, and I'm going to share them the best I can to help you understand that. But the key difference is you might be vibrating at the exact frequency with someone, and you, as soon as you basically get the lessons or you have like mastered that frequency level and you're going up to a new timeline in that frequency, because the timelines are nothing more than frequency that we're in a certain period of time. And there will be a video I'm going to be doing on collapsing timelines that I will do, because that's going to be like a request as well that somebody's asked, or more than one person has asked, how we can jump those timelines based on increasing our frequency and collapse the lessons we have to adhere to, or the karma we have to adhere to, because we're able to raise our frequency faster and shift through this. Because a lot of times what happens is, and I know this personally, I'm evolving faster through my evolution than I can actually bring it into form and create, because I'm shifting through that energy faster than I can bring it into form. So it's taken a while for that external reality to match up with the internal vibration. But back to the difference and being on the same frequency of somebody that's mimicking and expanding you from a karmic standpoint or an elevated standpoint, twin flame assistance, is you're hitting the same frequency on one idea of that, or on the flip side of that, if it's the eternal twin, that's the one that is your true other half, you will know that, because that frequency will align and it will be the exact same vibration or the exact same soul signature. And that's a little different than the frequency, okay? The frequency means you're lining up at the exact point and you're going to shift to move, and there's going to be even a lot more push, pull, purge even in that. And not that you won't even have that with your truest mate, but the signature, the actual vibration, is a mirrored reflection of your energy. And you can see it without question and without doubt. And how you're lining up with these different people are because you're shifting through frequencies that you're matching the same vibration at that moment, but it's not the same signature frequency. Okay, now I do help people identify that, but most of the time that's done, like, it takes some work to get through the layers of that, but I can help people read that energy. Now, the 3 waves, they're based on several factors. They are based on 3 big factors: is your age, your birth age, your spirit, the time of your spiritual awakening, and then also the timeline of your first activation with who you believe to be your other half, your twin flame. And keep in mind, we're all twin souls. And the difference in a twin soul and a twin flame is the twin soul means we all have another half. We're not just a few of us, they're twins. Everyone does. It's just the man, are you incarnated at the same time or not? And that's where, as this comes into this alignment with these frequencies, and the goal at this stage is what I'm being teaching people to lose the label, is align with your highest frequency, and to know that don't keep yourself held back, and to keep going up in your frequency, and you will then harmonize where home is, and you'll know it. You won't have to question it. Now, in this process of this transition and clearing this karma that I was talking about, we've had the starseeds, the indigos, I should say, and these 3 waves. You have indigos, which is like basically saying that you have personal and collective karma to clear. And you are basically kind of grounding that energy. Then we have the starseeds, which came here more tapped in. They have a really high frequency and they have no filters. A lot of ADHD, a lot of also associated with the autism type children as well, because there's no filter to ground this energy, and they have trouble bringing things into form, and they need some assistance to collect themselves. and to anchor that energy. So they're up here, and then we need somebody to ground it. So a lot of the indigos are kind of coming in to ground that energy that the starseeds are open. However, I want you to realize as you queue up that tree and you become that star, you're returning to your star origin. You're becoming the starseed. But it's how much karma did you have to clear to get through that? So as we come through the waves then in this planetary movement, I want you to understand something. It took the 144 people to activate and shift this mission as we return back to the diamond light workers of create and wholeness within ourselves. But that does not mean there's just 144,000 twin flames on this planet. It means that, you know, everyone, the whole planet's waking up. It only took the 144 to flip the scale to get everybody to consciously wake up and to create this new earth that really just took place on 3/20 of 2019 here. I'll make sure you have a link, because if you haven't followed my energy reports that I've mentioned more detail of this timeline, it's very, very interesting and very important if you really want to understand what's happening. So, depending upon your wave will depend upon the ability that you have to align with your union as well. So what I mean by that is that if you are, depending on your wave, of whether you're the first wave, the second wave, or the third wave, depends upon your ability to how fast you can manifest or come into full union with your other half. And based on that alignment of your wave and what your job was along this transition. Because the first wavers, they are clearing the biggest path of the karma and they're opening the door. While the second wave is widening that path and creating the width of the opening of the portal of this timeline that we're shifting through. And the third wave, basically, twin flames, are closing this portal and they're anchoring the love into 3D, which means the first wavers have been around a long time. And, you know, typically prior to 2007, they would have had their awakening and a physical connection with and being activated by their twin flame. And it could have, again, remember there's cusp here, okay? Their age range typically ranges between 45 and 55. And this is a heart of the timeline, okay? Again, cusp on either side, so don't forget that. But they have a lot of karma to clear. And so they've been opening the portal and holding the space, basically. While the second wave twin flames, they also are clearing karma, but they also tend to be a little bit more of like the indigos, and some are also starseeds. And again, it depends upon the timeline of their awakening, their physical connection with their twin flame, which is typically around that year 2007 to 2015. Okay, because we had a huge shift in the energy alignment, a huge portal on August 8th of 2015 that led up to the fourth blood moon in the cycle of September 30th of 2015, which was a huge wave of portal that was shifting out the second wavers through that timeline. Okay, and then their age range typically is about 35 to 45. The third wavers, they are basically ranging in age about 25 to 35. There are a lot more starseed energy. One of my starseed, I'm just going to use the term that one of my starseed clients mentioned to me that, you know, especially with her clients she's going to be working with too, that those starseeds, especially those younger ones in that timeline, they have the attention span of a gnat and they need everything quick. And the problem is they have all this wisdom, they don't know how to bring it into form, and they get so frustrated and their vibration is so high. And that's where we're helping them do this. But in the process of that, they are actually the ones that have the least amount of karma to clear technically, and they're coming into reunion, I should say, faster. And then it's going to, I've been shown that it's like we're opening the door with first, second, third, and then we're going to be closing that portal and coming into reunion the third, second, first, sort of. And that's not to say it can't happen in any other alignment of that, but that is sort of like what I've been shown in the pattern, the typical, the heart of all of it, the pattern. And so the key in that too is the more personal work you've done prior to coming into the physical alignment, the easier it is. And that's where a lot of people, it's all, the couple that you'll see in the third waivers, and, if you're really looking, you'll see totally, that they're totally connected and glowing and fit the epitome of twin flames. And thank everyone for all their comments about that, and also questions, because all of you out there, I know so many people said that they thought this was just potentially like a myth or something you're reading about that couldn't be real until they saw that couple. So thank you for those comments and sharing your thoughts and your feelings about that, because it's very important that we address that for you guys to have hope and to gain hope and to understanding, which is why I show up to help you understand what's happening here. And again, this is my version of what I've been being shown is happening. And that's not to say there aren't other pieces out there and somehow they all align, but kind of like the 100th monkey thing, we're all getting this universal intelligence and we're all bringing in a piece of it. And it's about connecting all those dots. So you got to kind of pull in what resonates with you and leave the rest and connect your own dots to collect that information to create your own conscious awareness, so to speak, too. So I want to recap. I want to just recap here. So first waivers, opening the door, they're clearing more karma, they're getting their awakening and their physical connection with their twin flame sometime around prior to 2007. The second waivers are widening the karmic path. They are getting their awakening and their physical connection with their twin flame somewhere in the neighborhood of 2007 and 2015, with an age range of 35 to 45, and definitely running into the indigo energy. The third waivers, they are awakening and connecting with their twin flame about 2015 to 2019, and there's been a huge portal of the between about 2000 and end of 2018 to here in March of 2019. That is meaning they're coming together like just like flies, like reunions, because they've done the work and they've cleared the patterns, and they're anchoring all this light that we're bringing in, and they're doing their portion of the job. So thank you, all of you, everyone, for their part in this journey. The other key I want to say about this is now we have children that are coming in as starseeds and rainbow children that are already connected to their higher selves, that are already supporting this light, that are already bringing it in. And if they're already connected, they're not bringing we're not bringing the karma to clear. We're returning to restoring the diamond light of all the color rays of God, and we're bringing that into the oneness and the wholeness within ourselves, within the universe, within the collective, so we can all experience a more enriched, fulfilled life. And if you're on this journey and you're experiencing pain, you're to use that pain for purpose, and it will help you shift across the bridge from the fear to the freedom, so you can align with your highest good, your highest frequency, and connect to your highest match. And what tends to happen then is you will make sure you stay open to everything and attached to nothing, and try to lose these labels and allow yourself to heal from the past so that you can step into the new earth and your new reality and your new dimension. Now, I have some tools that I've put together, because depending on where you're at in this journey, you might need multiple things. So, two big pieces in this is you've got to complete your soul contract and finish freeing your soul and complete all those vows and list of things that you have with your contracts with other people. And so I've put together a Free Your Soul checklist. It's a free resource. If you haven't got plugged in, it's the perfect time. And it's going to be a free resource below. And in addition to that, if you've been doing the work, but you're feeling stuck and you want to elevate your frequency, I also put together the 30-day Unlock Your Passion project. That's a free resource to help you step in to a higher frequency and shift through this portal so you can manifest your destiny from your heart's desires and live a more enriched life as you co-create more peace, prosperity, purpose, and passion in your life, and live in this new world from a place of authenticity and become open, raw, and real, and love what you do and show up as living out your reward for being one of the people that helped to go through and change humanity as we shifted from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius, which is changing history and breaking down all the structures we once knew it and recreating everything anew. And that the vibration has went up on the earth. Our internal vibrations have went up and are continuing to elevate. And now everything around us has to match that frequency, and it's just catching up. And that's it. Okay? So be sure to get plugged into all those resources. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button, share the shine, and may you always face your fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Namaste.